Party rock is in the house tonight. Like, imagine everybody just vibing in the streets to that. Like, everyone in the world, all the world leaders are at the White House just party rocking. Trump's like, yo, Kim Jong, you smoke? He's like, yeah, bro. They all playing Among Us together. Trump's like, sack of shit.
Or Trump's the imposter.
Kim Jong-un, you're looking pretty sus.
I've never been an imposter in my life.
Kim Jong-un is like, orange is sus.
Bro.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon. Welcome back to another episode of Real Sensitive Guy Hours. This is episode 36. That's right. Episode 36. I'm here to welcome you and to welcome my fantastic hosts. To my right, we got Travis Stocksdale.
What's up?
Below me, we've got the one, the only, push you against the wall, Oliver Wickheiser.
I'm here for the inspiration and the good times.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. And finally, last but not least, the man who will fuck a giant stuffed dog, William Le Conqueror.
I don't know how I feel about that last comment, but under the right conditions, you might not be wrong, my friend. You might not be wrong.
Yeah, are you claiming it's false, or are you just not making a comment?
You may not be wrong, my man.
He was like, man, that dog was just asking for it based off of my outfit.
The dog literally sent him sexual vibes and undressed him.
I like like JD and Turk in Scrubs. They have just the stuffed dog in their apartment.
All right, well, I don't need to see a visual.
And last,
watch the shit Grey's Anatomy anyway.
Yeah, fuck Grey's Anatomy. And of course, my name's Brandon.
No, Scrubs is the shit Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, fuck Grey's Anatomy though. At the same time, like, why would you watch that show?
It's funny.
The show is
funny.
so long.
Which shows you how low down Scrubs is.
Dude, that show has like 15 seasons, and every time someone says it, we take shots. So, I mean, I'm ready.
And
Every time someone mentions Grey's Anatomy, someone has to take a shot.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can I introduce myself, you fucks? I give you guys these big introductions, and
Oh my God,
and
did we not do that?
No.
It's not like the channel's named after you.
Yeah, it's your boy SpinShootImpress and/or Brandon. And I was gonna say that I put deodorant on my balls, and it would have been like this funny thing. But you guys fuck. I can't work under these conditions.
Oh my God, quit right now. You won't. No balls.
Yeah, Brandon just flicks. He just flicks his camera on and off. Like, I'm back. Guest appearance.
You used to be SpinShootImpress.
On the real though, Brandon and Will were arguing. They're not arguing. They were just like exchanging like playful insults before the show, and then it got like less and less playful. I was getting a little uncomfortable.
He said, I don't go for quality women. And then he proceeds to talk about how he gets nudes day one off of Tinder. And then like they add him on Snapchat. And within like 18 hours, he's already unadded. 18 hours.
Quality women right there.
Hey, man, it's trials and tribulation, all right?
I hope he's not fucking Childs.
Yo, no.
It's trials and tribulations. I did not say childs.
I'm really hoping that somebody that I like match with on Tinder does not low key find this fucking shit.
Lead it into your personal life. Make it known. Be out there.
Are you hoping we don't get more views right now?
No.
Yeah, Will.
I think you should be telling them like day one.
Yeah, but about the thing we just talked about, they might think I'm a fucking man whore.
Well, there's nothing wrong with being a man whore. Girls do it all the time.
I feel like everyone on Tinder respects the game. It's just a game. No one
heard me at all.
What'd you say?
Will said he was a man whore. I was like, it's fine. Girls do it all the time.
Whoa.
Shots fired.
Oliver with the sexism.
My women are all good Christian girls, okay? They're not. They don't.
Christian mingle. You go to Christian mingle.
Something to remember from this podcast. It's that Brandon is a virgin.
I've never had sex.
Never had sex. And that's the thing he always says.
Good job, everybody.
Every time somebody mentions to Brandon that he's a virgin, he's like, "Yeah, I've never had sex." That's always the first phrase that comes out of his mouth.
What's wrong with that? If it's true, if you're a virgin, Will, what's wrong with that? Huh?
Yeah, what's wrong with being a virgin?
Huh? What do you guys say?
You're being a little judgy right now.
Do you guys believe
redundant?
Do you guys believe in the ability to like reclaim your virginity? Like some people at weddings,
taking it back.
some people at weddings are like, they do like it's like a ritual, and you can reclaim your virginity, and you can technically, in certain religions, people think that in the eyes of God, you become a virgin again if you like say these certain things or do these certain things.
Why do you think they call William the Conqueror? He just takes his virginity back.
Well, I was thinking it's probably.
I've thought about that sometimes. Like I've been on these long spurts without like doing anything, and just one day I'll just be like, I'm just gonna take that back.
I remember those days, dog.
Every 3 months it recedes back like it did.
No, it's like your credit score. You know,
right.
7 years.
What?
7 years.
Yeah. You can
don't talk to me about credit scores right now. I can go off.
Your virginity score will go back up.
Don't say that. I work for a mortgage company. Don't talk about credit scores.
What's your credit score, bitch?
What's wrong? Is yours falling?
No, we literally just go through like so much shit that deals with credit and what you can do and what you can't do all day. And my head is just beaten to death with it. So let's change the topic.
You know what's smarter than spending your money at a strip club? Credit.
Yeah,
what is this
like? My head with it.
He's too tired from work. He doesn't want to.
I don't want to talk about credit either. Man. Credit makes no
credit
card.
Go ahead. Ask me a question. See what happens.
Okay.
Will you pass?
I mean, what's the lowest your credit score could be for you to be able to be accepted for a credit card?
We don't do credit cards. We do mortgage loans.
This is really interesting. Anyway, we played Among Us. The Real Sensitive Guys played Among Us with a bunch of people the other day.
We play every fad game, Fall Guys, Among Us.
Okay,
yeah.
I feel like we're behind because I feel like Among Us was bigger earlier this year, and we're just now getting into it. We're behind the times. I feel like it was.
We were like a few weeks behind, but it wasn't like anything.
Yeah, no, maybe there was like a blip of it earlier this year, but it's definitely just blown completely up.
Like recently, because earlier this year it was Fall Guys. Fall Guys was the big thing near the beginning of the year.
I just hate when a game like this is like the flavor of the moment and people are like, OMG, like such a revolutionary idea. Like no game has ever done this before. Like people who don't fucking play video games. You're like similar. Trouble in Terrorist Town, fucking
what's that fucking Town of Salem? Like it's all the same shit.
Yeah. It's all been done before. I mean, it's not to say the game's not fun. The game is fun, and like you can reuse the same formulas and still make great games. Like the fucking Dark Souls type thing, like that type of combat, that type of like story-driven, combat-driven experience. Like that's why their meme came from, like the Dark Souls of blah, blah, blah. Like just so many games have copied Dark Souls.
I feel like
it doesn't mean they're bad games. Jedi Fallen Order.
I feel like with Among Us, I feel like as a crewmate, I feel it as a more daunting task to figure out who the killer is. Whereas the fact, if I'm an imposter, I can like the pressure's off. Everyone's got to try to figure me out. If I'm a crewmate, I got to figure everybody else out. Like that's daunting.
Oh my god, you're alone in a room with somebody. You're like, I'm just fucking freaking out,
bro. When we play,
what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do something harmlessly, or like, are they gonna kill me?
It's just a giant game of like just being a good liar. If you're the killer, you have to be a good liar, because if not, you're gonna get found out so quickly, and you're gonna fuck yourself up. Yeah, exactly. But
no, but my favorite thing about Among Us is the fact that it's not a good game on its own. What makes it good is having people that are good strategic liars. The game is all about the social aspect. That's what makes it fun. So if you're a good bullshitter,
the better the experience is, honestly.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
It's very interesting to see everybody's form of lying, because everybody was, you don't, at the end of the day, you don't know who the imposter is. You're in a crew of 10 people and only 2 people are the imposter, and you have to find them out because you don't know.
You're trying to make assumptions.
You play game after game with the same group of people, and you start to figure out what their like tell is.
Exactly.
What their go-to is for when they're like getting blamed for something.
So, and we even put that in our own like our texting group chat. And so I will now read off.
Shit.
I will now read off
God, bro. I was pissed. Okay,
So
Connor was a bitch.
Brandon's was, hey homie, you a bitch, little bitchy bitch. I'm gonna go to McDonald's and order a McBitch because you're a bitch,
You're
bitch.
a bitch.
And then Brandon responded with, or no, Travis did. He said Oliver's reason is you sack of shit.
Dude, yeah, if everybody's trying to blame me all of a sudden and I get put off on not
mad
being
at Brandon because Brandon blame
the only
somehow.
thing I can't play this game when Brandon plays because let's say I'm not an imposter, neither is Brandon. No one knows who the imposters are.
Exactly.
Oh, it's Oliver. Everyone's just like, yeah, it is. I'm like, bro.
Here's the thing: if you can redirect blame. And
so hard to have everybody's on your bandwagon.
What somebody will do is they'll plant a seed within a group. So
What Brandon will do is he'll pick one person and keep blaming them every single time there's a meeting.
Exactly.
Like, I really think it's this guy. Next time it comes around, he's like, yo, I seriously think it's this guy. Until somebody goes, all right, let's vote this guy.
No, and then he'll start it all off with like his first thing is like, you know what? I just think we don't have enough conclusive evidence to who it is. So how about we just all skip this first time?
Oh yeah. That's how you know Brandon's the imposter. He calls a skip vote. If he's
calls
not blaming someone, he's
immediately.
definitely the imposter. If he is blaming someone, he's probably still the imposter because he's for every fucking round.
You guys just named every possibility. What are you saying?
And so Brandon ends up saying that mine is all I say is, bro, it ain't me. It ain't fucking me.
Oliver was getting legitimately pissed, and I felt so bad because it was like somebody was like, it's Oliver. Like it was like, yeah, I can't really speak for Oliver. Like nobody really knows where he was, and Oliver's like, oh, I was in this area, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty suspicious. And everybody's like, yeah, that is pretty suspicious. And I'm like, let's just do it.
I think to a certain degree, Connor was on my side, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what, it was Oliver, and then everyone.
Connor is one of our friends that we play games with.
Yeah. So I mean, it happens.
Haven't we had Connor on?
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, Logic.
Yeah, he's been on. He's been Logic.
You know who Logic is?
He's been Logic.
If you know the real sensitive guy's lore, you know Logic. He's a come and go friend.
What do you mean? What do you mean by lore?
Hey, what I'm sure is he's got.
If you've watched all 36 episodes so far, or 35, and however many minutes we are into this episode,
so.
He's on record saying he has a big cock. So
you know what I was thinking about. I don't know why you thought about this, but you know how in like different areas in the country there's different lingo that everybody says. So like certain areas you can't use a certain lingo you use because like everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like
like certain signs.
Different.
Yeah, like some people like in some countries like hand signs mean different things. True. So like the one thing that most people know is for Italians, it's that just means fuck you. So if like you're just like walking down the street and you just do that in Italy, like it's a huge disrespectful thing.
No, even here it's really weird. So like
around America,
we moved from like a very poor state, and now we're in one of the richest parts of the country in the world. Not in the world, in the fucking country. I don't know what I'm saying. And I'll be saying things like I'll say size, and people will be like, "What's size?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't get it," or I'll say, "You geek me," and they're like, "What does that mean?"
Hip, and they're like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Yeah, right.
You're like, show us the strats, and they're like, what
does that mean? Well, also like we have within this like friend group of like our direct immediately friends, we have our own language. Like this is unique to us. So anytime that somebody is.
Will,
like strats, for example, tabe. Like, what the fuck is a tabe?
All of our half words. Literally, we just half finish words. That's our entire language.
Yeah. Why say full word when you can say it in few?
Exactly.
Why say lot word when small word do trick?
My funniest thing is definitely like the acronyms that Travis comes up with because he has a plethora.
Oh my God, he does.
Oh yeah, we love our abbreviations too.
He's a huge like human dictionary when it comes to these abbreviations.
This girl that I'm talking to right now, she literally just like doesn't question it anymore. I'll be like, yeah, PW. And she'll be like, I'm not even going to ask.
Yeah, DID.
Classic. That's classic.
She don't want to be saved.
Anytime I think of DID, I think of Hercules.
Yeah, that's where I got. That's one of the ones I stole, but most are original.
Damsel in distress for anybody that does not know.
Yeah.
What did you think it was? Yeah, I don't
Dixon
fucking know.
Donuts.
I'm about to say dicks and dudes. I don't know.
Miss chokes on dick. Yeah, but
like BNB, Big Nose Beauty.
Yeah,
BNB, Big Nose Beauty.
That's an orig. That's an orig.
Dub V.
Also, that's original.
Oh, wait.
We can't even stop. We cannot literally stop talking like this.
It's kind of bad some nights.
Dub V. You mean like?
No, I meant to say PW. I don't know why my brain. I literally took a nap before this.
Dub V, I think, is like a West Virginia citizen thing in general. Like
West Virginia.
There was definitely some new slang I had to learn when I started going to school in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was born and
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but
I was born down near Quantico, Virginia. So like a less poor place, but it was still pretty bad. And like the lingo that I learned from there up until I moved to West Virginia, which was in fourth grade. I was coming into fourth grade. And so like it was just the lingo change was so crazy just going to school. People would have abbreviations for like certain things. I can't remember, like for Travis, I can't remember anything from the top of my head, but I mean, it's just, and then you go up to the state right above us, Maryland. It's the same way. Like you have to learn the lingo there from there. And it's just like, what the fuck? I have to learn too.
Well, like
plus
most
people bring lingo, man. Like when we first went to school, we had a friend. We had a friend who gave us a lot of words.
Well, I feel like it depends on like what you're doing, because like to a certain degree, when you're with most people, if they don't know you, they're gonna be direct and like say things appropriately, like that way you understand them. But, like if it's a bunch of friends and you're in a different area, they're gonna start using lingo and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Exactly.
We've definitely
learning a whole new language.
We've definitely stolen things from people over the years too. Like I feel like we got a lot of words from our friend Evan when we first started going to school. He just said a lot of cool stuff that was very repeatable. Like I fucks with it and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Like we still say that shit. It's clouds though.
Yeah,
I think I'll be fucking that 2016, 2015 lingo where you're like, yeah, you just got dabbed on. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Lit, for example,
was just becoming a thing, or like people around that time.
People used to say you just got owned or stuff like, or you just got.
Oh, that's like 2009 lingo, bro. Like pwned.
Pwned.
Yeah.
Pwned.
What was that 2014 shit you were singing the other day?
What?
We were playing games yesterday, and I'm like, shut the fuck up with that 2014 shit, you son of a bitch. What was that?
What was I singing?
Fuck, dude. I wish I remembered.
It was
like literally last night, probably too.
Yeah, Lit's probably at least a couple of years, if not more, by now.
I feel like Lit might have been before 2015, but it was becoming big.
I think it was
around that time.
You know what's really funny? So every year when I go on vacation to Ocean City, when my dad, some of his buddies from college will come down, usually for like the weekend. When they were like, we all say lit because obviously that's like the term nowadays. Like we're getting lit.
Yeah, lit has actually stuck around. I feel it.
Yeah,
I fucks with it.
His buddies,
for sure.
Him and his buddies when they were in college, instead of saying lit, they were saying they're gonna go get toasted. They would say toasted.
My God.
I like that too. I also really like Canadian lingo. Like instead of saying cigarette, I like dart. I'll have a dart.
I'd have a dart.
Darties are fire.
No, I was just getting ready to bring that up. Like just TV shows. Like I know in this friend group, we've all watched Letterkenny, the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And like the lingo, I've picked up so much shit that I say nowadays just from that show. And you feel like you're in like a little separate religion because there's other people that know that lingo as well that aren't in your immediate friend group.
I watched the show so rapidly, I think I turned into Wayne. Like I was just like,
bro.
I was like, dude, Brandyn, how are you now?
Good and you?
I think it's so weird meeting new people that like you didn't know previously, and like they know the same lingo too. I dealt with that in college, where I lived in my dorm.
Oh, when you get to college, you learn so many words for weed, so many words for alcohol, so many words for high, so many words for drunk. You just learn hella new lingo just generally.
Well, I think like going into college, you didn't think that anyone would like watch that same show. And I was in the freaking elevator going down to class one day, and this big kid from another fraternity that we're in, and like he just gets in the thing, and I was like, "What's up, Harry?" Now, and he just stopped. He was a big muscly fucker too. So like he was like going to work out. He has a jug of water, and he just paused. And he was like,
Hog.
"Good and you?" And I'm like, "No fucking way, no fucking way." And then we just fucking clicked. And he used to live like right next door to me. Oh, it was so great. Anytime we would see each other around campus, it was just Harry now, good and you.
We have an Aussie friend.
God.
He's like he's like 280 pounds, literally all chest. Like his chest like goes up to his neck. Like he's fucking huge. He says cunt.
The other country that we need to steal so much lingo from. Australia.
He says cunt endlessly, stuff. And I have picked it up so hard to the point where I'm
Everybody
at work.
In our fraternity did. Anybody in our fraternity did.
I'm at work and I'm like trying so hard not to say cunt. I'm like, oh, how you doing? Yeah.
I think he's 200 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.
That man is the man of steel.
Travis knows.
Definitely.
No, I think it's funny too, because like obviously like any TV show or something you watch, you definitely get tons of lingo from. So I remember this was like years ago. Brandon started watching How I Met Your Mother, and
oh my god,
different lingo, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
British people too. I've been watching the British Wipeout, and when they say they're tired, it's so. I think this is so cute. When they're tired, they're like, "I'm absolutely knackered." Like stuff like that.
I want to pick this up. I really think that this is really nice. Whenever British people don't like something, they'll say something is pants. So instead of saying it's shitty, it's pants.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
When they're upset about getting like eliminated from the show, they're like, "I'm absolutely gutted that I'm going home."
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Oh, I need to watch this now.
It's called Total Wipeout. It's like, I don't know if it was aired at the same time as American Wipeout, but it's basically Wipeout with like British people. Like instead of two male hosts in the tower, there's just one male host. He's really funny though. And there's also like a woman that stands down by the courses, just like Jillian or Jessica or whatever the hell her name was on original Wipeout. I think it was Jillian. Right? They have like a British Jillian. It's so weird how they make the shows like almost exact parallels.
That is weird.
They try to literally cast people who look like the American versions. And we do vice versa. I mean, I'm sure there's British shows that have been adapted into American.
Is the British Office any good? Does anybody know?
I haven't watched. I've been thinking about watching that for a really long time, but I always end up watching something else.
Will, you're drinking a
honestly, I would like to hear from someone. I would like that's a good like comment theme for the week. If anyone's seen the British Office, tell us how it is. Give us a comment.
Yeah, that'd be fire. Let us.
I would like to know because I've been kind of meaning to watch it for just years, literally.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I don't think anything will. I don't. If you're expecting the American Office, good luck. You know.
Yeah, that's tough.
My 2/3.
I've only been thinking of watching it for a couple of years because I've only known it's existed for those couple of years since it got put on Netflix, basically.
Yeah, it's got the guy from The Hobbit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, look at the dog, bro. The dog makes an appearance.
Dog goes back. Last week was Chance. Now we got a new one. I'm gonna pick up some random stray from the street. He's gonna be like all shaky and like all fucked up. Probably gonna snap at me, but he's gonna be on the show.
Yeah, dude, you guys need a pet. You had Chance, you had Feebert. Now what? What's the next pet? You should get a hamster or something.
Oliver is my pet.
You don't like cats.
We gotta be
yeah, like we're best friends, dude. What the fuck?
I'm like a mad cat when I come back from work, and he has to calm me down. Okay,
you're like a controller.
I just pet him.
Did no one see my dog?
No, we did.
We literally talked about it.
Okay, I missed that, so I can't wait to see what it's gonna sound like.
Fair enough.
You guys ever feel? I get it. Like we're all becoming older, but you guys ever feel like you try to like separate like your work life and your personal life? You put on a persona at work that you have to like meet a certain standard to, like a persona.
Of course, I'm always the happy, like honest, like energetic person at work, but I calm myself down a little bit.
Professional.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to call everybody cunt and like have a good time.
I have so much trouble just figuring out what professional is on a daily basis. I'm like, does this sound a little not professional?
Can I say the word ass?
It's like a little bit professional. I don't know.
I struggle with that sometimes. I'm just like, wait, is this like how professional is this supposed to be or not professional? It's like a happy balance, but almost to a certain degree, it's like you're still being yourself. So like you don't have to fake it.
Yeah, dude. I have that coworker at work. I have that coworker at work who I like work with a lot, and like he's close to my age. He's my buddy. We like banter in the text chat, like the work text chat, just between each other. Like get some bants in there. Makes me feel like a normal person during the day. You got to have something like that.
I don't have my fucking tripping buddy throughout the whole Let's Smile experience. Like I know what you're talking about, and I just don't have that. So it's like
you need.
I feel like I've been dropped on an island full of just cannibals, and I'm just like trying to survive in this professional environment. Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you?
Nice weather we're having.
Yeah.
People talk about the weather. I'm like, this sucks. This sucks.
Like, shut up. Have you seen any TV show where they have this like cliche of when two people have nothing to talk about, they talk about the weather? Maybe if you have nothing to talk about with me, just don't fucking talk to me.
I feel like to a certain degree, at least in the professional world, since we're all getting to that age where we're getting jobs that are more professional than what we've had to a certain degree. So like talking about the weather is almost like an icebreaker. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's snowing, like, bro, like the snow, like, oh my God.
It's so true. I feel like in the professional world, it becomes like I want to talk to you. Like, I want to conversate.
Let me talk to you.
But I don't know anything about you yet. I just want to have a general conversation with you to let you know that I want to talk to you. So I'm going to talk about the weather.
So it's never, whenever you're trying to get to know somebody at a professional environment, it's never like, oh, well, there's a progression where we eventually get to know each other and there's a comfortability. No, for whatever reason, every time that you're in a professional environment, it's 0 to 100. Like you find out like their parents fucking died in a car crash at age 6. Like, how did this get here?
Well, I also feel like
0 to 100 real quick.
I also feel even talking about the weather, like your alarms are going off in your head. Cause I'd be like, I come into work, I'm like, man, it's fucking freezing. Like it's hard not to.
Exactly.
It's cold out there today. Yeah, it's fucking freezing, man.
It's really tough in my
fucking cold,
thing because I have two. I have the very professional coworker. This guy does everything by the book, all that stuff. And so like I have to put the persona on for that. But then there's another person that I work with and he's the chillest fucking dude. The best example is like you come up with like some stupid way to like, or just something funny. You just say something funny. The professional dude will just be like, no, I don't think we can do that. That wouldn't be very good and all that. Yada, yada, yada. And just like go on a fucking ramble.
You got to feel it out with like little jokes at first.
And then there's like, the other kid, like I'll say something fucking hilarious and then he'll fucking just send one right fucking back. And it's just like, we understand each other on that. And I have more personal talks with that kid than I do with the other one.
I feel like to like a certain degree, like at least in my profession, or at least my job that I have currently, people are way more open about everything.
Really? Yes.
We're way more open.
That's exactly what Brandon was just saying. It's like we work together, so you're going to tell me that your mom has cancer and you're really upset about it. Like I just met you.
Yeah, like, people are like,
it's
way
like
more
today
open
is my first day. Calm down with the shit.
Yeah, I'm hip to that, and I really like where I work. I really do, and I enjoy the job that I have, and you know, it's very rewarding. I'm being challenged every single day, and to a certain extent, like being professional is a challenge for me on its own because I don't thrive in that kind of environment. I thrive in an environment where my mouth can just fly. And if I have any sort of filter, I start stuttering, I don't sound confident, and that fucks you up even further. So it's like this whole thing has been a huge challenge for me, and that's really great. But goddamn, does that fucking suck? It feels so fake to me.
It does.
I feel it's fake.
I also feel like too, to like a certain degree, like in any profession you get into, whether you know it or you don't know it, there's going to be some degree of uncomfortableness. And I feel like that's a good thing. Like people are meant to be uncomfortable so they can gain how to do that specific thing.
For sure.
Today's job market
in a pool and hoping you swim.
And like this comes into like
you swim.
This comes into something that I wanted to bring up today.
Until you sink.
I had a conversation today with somebody, and it pertained to like the hiring of people at like jobs and stuff like that. Because they were asking, like, I got into a serious conversation with them. They asked like, "Oh, like, where'd you go to college?" All that stuff. And so I told them all that. History major, want to go for like National Park Service museum jobs, stuff like that. And they asked like, "Well, why aren't you getting hired?" And I'm like, "Well, one, the job market is tough in my field, and then two,
True.
it poses like the question. It's like you're the person that's hiring these people, and this is a question I want you guys to answer. So if you're this is in any job market, if you're the person that's going to hire like two candidates, let's say there's Jimmy. He has a master's degree in like the field of study. He has like tons of internships. He's very like professional. He's very like serious, like wants to get the job done, all that. But he has like no backbone. He's not like flamboyant. He's not like very conversative.
No, so step one is you gotta be likable. Like you can have relevant experience.
It's like you have him, but then the other person is someone like in our friend group right now. We're like, we have the passion. Yes, we don't have the same like degree work or the same experience, but we have the knowledge and the passion and like the charismatic like personalities to like make this job good because we want to do this job. We love this job.
No, you gotta be fun.
We talked about this a little on a previous show, I think.
Who do you hire? Who do you hire out of those two?
It's all about, I think some jobs too want to take a blank slate and mold it, like we talked about in a previous show. They want to have someone with
that's why you have entry level positions.
They want to have someone with like a basic knowledge of what they're going to be doing, and then mold them into being a lot more knowledgeable about it and more knowledgeable about how they do it their way at their company. I think not having a shit ton of experience and stuff can be good in some situations. It can be helpful if you find the right jobs to apply to.
Right. I think to like a certain degree,
all about that interview.
I think to a certain degree, like if I'm hiring somebody, I think like the biggest thing for me is like let's say this person has no experience in the field whatsoever. That's not like the most important thing ever to me, unless like obviously they have like 10 years of experience or something. But like if they're not confident in the interview and they don't seem like they know what they're talking about to a certain degree, like the big two things are usually like be confident and know what you're talking about. Do some research from the company, know what you're talking about. If you're going to come in and botch the interview, why would I hire you? Even though you might be qualified, why would I hire you?
And that could be 10 years of bad habits, 10 years of doing something completely wrong, but no one had the heart or the knowledge to tell them that they were doing it wrong.
Just because you have the experience that, you might have your resume says, okay, awesome. But if you don't impress the person you're interviewing with at least a little bit, or they don't remember like, hey, that was a really good interview talking to other people, why are they going to hire you? Why are they going to remember you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a degree and experience is a huge tool, but charisma is a huge fucking tool too. Don't underestimate.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if someone kills an interview who has no experience to someone that has 2 experience, and the 2 years experienced person botches the interview and doesn't seem confident at all, the other person who has no experience but seems eager to learn and confident, that's going to be a tough decision at that point. It would have been an easy decision before. Now it's going to be tough.
If I hypothetically, I'm sitting here and I have a director position, so like I'm in charge of a specific field, and if I'm hiring somebody, which I don't think is going to happen soon, I might be taking an intern here soon, but I would want somebody that I vibe with. First of all, like I need somebody that I get along with. And second of all, they have to have relevant experience. I know you guys were saying that it doesn't really make sense, but if I can't train personality, so that's number one for sure. Oh, I would rather not waste my time and resources on somebody that is completely not knowledgeable on the specific topic.
It depends on the job. Definitely.
Okay. Well, what if in the position you're at, right? It says 2 years of experience needed. Who cares if it's more? But let's just say it's 2, right? Someone comes in that has 3 years of experience, does dog shit at the interview, but somebody comes in and has like half a year of experience and is super confident in interview. Who do you hire?
super confident person.
I don't know, man. I'd be asking why they only have half a year of experience. Like what happened at that other
Let's
job?
say they had like an internship for like 6 months.
Not even internships make sense to me. So like if you do sales, you can say that, hey, I never really did any sales, but a lot of what I've done in the past has required me to change people's minds about myself or a product. Or if I sit there and say, hey, I've never really been in a marketing position, but I've been very successful in social media ventures. I've had a YouTube channel and it blew up because of SEO and all of this shit. It's like, that is relevant stuff, even though it's not like real experience. It's real experience because they have that fucking mindset. And that's you can't train that. You can't train a mindset.
They didn't do it because it was an internship. They did it on their own time because they wanted to learn it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So would you hire the confident person, the person that has 2 years of botch the interview?
Honestly, neither. I'm going with somebody that I like and has relevant experience.
Okay. All right, that's respect.
I'm sure everybody's really riveted with fucking job interview shit, but it's like, I gotta like you, man. That's the biggest thing.
Our fucking lives now too. This is why we keep talking about it, man.
That's like
wake up, go to work, wait for the weekend,
like
baby.
The biggest thing too. Like I feel like one of the biggest reasons why like I landed the job that I have is because I did okay on the interview, but like my recruiter even said like, most of the time, then we get off like an interview with someone, they talk about it to like their colleagues, like, yeah, it was a good interview or something. She was like, after the interview with me, she was like, I'm not sure how he's feeling. Like it was okay interview. And then she went and did my references, and she was like, all right, we have to get this kid. Like that plays a massive part into it. Yeah, like you might have to be like the best at the interview, but if you're 80% of the way there, they're like, oh, we still have to do some research, and then your references are like, he's like a really good kid, he knows what he's doing, he's intelligent, he'll learn. That helps.
Oliver, you have this special trait about you where you don't seem excited about things, and that kind of intrigues people. It's like, did that interaction go well? I don't know. I'm gonna try to pursue this a little farther. Does that make sense?
You get Oliver excited. You're like, oh my God, that was it. That was exciting.
It's a little bit. I think I always tell Bailey this. It's like, she's like, you're going to be excited about this? And I'm usually tell her, I'm not going to be excited till I'm in the moment. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm usually not excited till I'm there and I know what's in front of me and I know what's happening. So like obviously for the job I have now, like the interview I did, I wasn't crazy excited at the time. I didn't know what my other options were. So I just did the interview. Right. I didn't know if I was excited, but based on what Brandon just said, and I appreciate you saying that, because that is true. That's how I am. But like, she basically was like, I think it went well. I don't know how he's feeling. I gotta dig more into this. I gotta see what this I gotta see what this kid is, some maybe misleading me a little bit. Like, what's going on?
No, people can't get a read on you. And that's actually could be like a huge card up your sleeve, because it just makes you so damn interesting.
So I appreciate that. I think if I have to,
tough. It's not an easy thing to do.
I think if I have to give anybody advice, it's like, work. You want to communicate a specific message about yourself whenever you're dealing with these interviewers, and first of all, be ready for rejection, because that's a thing that everybody goes through, like just in general in life, like with girls, sales, like job interviews. Be ready for that shit
in life. Yeah.
And don't be outcome dependent. Don't be like, hey, I'm just going to I'm going to go into this interview and see what happens. Don't be outcome dependent. But like, if I had to give firm advice, it's like, show your personality, show who you are. That'll make you more confident. And also show that you have relevant experience, even if it's not set in stone. Oh, I've got this. I was president. I did this. No, be like, hey, I have passion projects that I do. This is a specific project that is relevant to this. This is why I want this job. I'm looking for this in a job. And if they see that you have expectations, it shows that you're a fucking badass and that you want to make things happen.
I also feel like too, for like obviously hiring entry level position people, it's like, especially older people have goals they set every year, or goals for every month or every week they have in mind. For younger people, if they're not necessarily like pushing forward toward those goals right away, it's like, oh, they don't know what they're getting into. But like you just said, if someone comes in with that mindset of like, what are the expectations, so they can meet that goal, they're already thinking ahead, and that means they're ahead of the game.
KPIs, brother, key performance indicators. How do I know I'm doing well?
It just depends.
Yep.
I mean, I know we've brushed over this before in previous episodes, but it's relevant. Like everyone goes through an interview process, probably at least probably a dozen times in their life, if not more.
I crush every interview just with that simple formula, honestly. Like every single one.
There's going to be times in your life you have to either be in an interview or in front of a class or giving a presentation. That's kind of the same mindset. You're in performing for an audience. When you go through an interview, you're not necessarily performing, but you're giving things you've done, the list that you've done, these things. It's kind of performing to a certain degree.
You are a little bit performing.
Yeah. So like it's nerve wracking. Yeah, everyone gets nervous. I don't think I've ever asked anyone that says they're not a little bit nervous for an interview. Even if they know everything they're talking about, they're a little nervous.
We should
because they don't. So
nerds are easy. Like nerds are
William.
That come with time.
There you go. Yeah, put it to your face.
What are
Did you say you had a topic for tonight?
Yeah, let's change it to something.
Yeah, let's talk about some dick and balls.
Yeah. Okay.
We love dick and balls. No, I'm like totally blanking on everything right now, but we do need to talk about the fucking debates.
Yes, the debate.
So, the debate was so funny.
Who watched them? Who actually watched them?
I watched it. I watched it a day later. Yeah,
I watched the highlights. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I watched the whole thing.
So one of the biggest problems that Biden faced
so badly.
Go pee.
All right, I'm just gonna mute my.
Yeah. So one of the biggest problems that Biden faced was the fact that Trump is just going to out Chad every single person that's in there, even the fucking moderator. How do you, if you're in Biden's shoes, how do you fucking deal with that? Do you just shut up?
You don't, man. He did the same thing in 2016, and it was funny in 2016 because it's like, oh man, no way he's gonna win, right? But now it's not funny. He's like just bullying him. It's kind of sad to watch. The moderator too. It's really sad to watch the moderator get bullied by Trump. Mr. President, Mr. President, please can you let Mr. Biden speak, please, Mr. President?
It sucks that two people don't have a backbone in that thing. Where Biden just lets it happen, and he thinks the only solution to this thing is to just stand there
and laugh at him.
Will you shut up, man?
You shut up, man.
No, and he pretends.
That was the only time he did something bad.
He sat there and just laughed at it. Like he's sitting there trying to denounce him by laughing at Trump's statements.
You literally have to like.
Or just
you have to give shit back to him. You have to give shit back to him because him bullying the moderator and Biden, like his fucking fans are going wild over that shit.
Yeah,
I think that was just the most badass thing ever, and I'm like, do something.
Yeah, I agree. It's absolutely just disgusting that this is what our country has come to. Like I was talking to that girl that I said I was talking to earlier, and it's like she's like, "Oh, are you gonna vote?" I was like, "Fuck no! Are you serious?" Like, first of all, your vote doesn't fucking matter. But like, let's ignore that. Let's
only not go there because we're gonna get yelled at, but it's true.
It's fucking true. You know that metaphor from South Park. You're choosing between a turd sandwich and a giant douche. We're literally choosing right now between a senile old man and a cunt who's just been winging it ever since he's gotten into office. It's
absolutely trying to make America worse.
I honestly like a lot of I have asked like some of my coworkers things about like who they potentially might be voting for, and a lot of people have been like, I have never voted. I'm not gonna vote for.
You don't want to waste a vote.
Yeah, well, they're to a certain degree, but they're also saying to like a certain degree that like since I've been eligible to vote since they were 18, they're in like their mid to late 20s. There's never been a candidate that has ran that they've been excited about, or
exactly,
you know what I mean? Like, why would you want to vote, or like a role model or something like that you want to look up to? Like,
exactly.
It just frankly seems like this is just
no reason to vote.
This is just my opinion. It frankly seems like everyone just hates Trump. Everyone just hates him. They don't want to vote for him.
Anyone but Trump.
So no, I mean, like.
I think it's part of it is probably the fact that the debates and shit now are like fucking reality TV shows, man. Mm-hmm. It's like
it is. People turn
it's like keeping up with the Kardashians. Like It's fucking nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't further anyone's knowledge on anything, by the way. This debate did not. Like, they asked, the moderator asked, like, Trump, what are you going to do about COVID after you're elected? Trump is like, we're great. We've dealt with COVID amazingly. If it wasn't for me, thousands more would be dead. We're amazing. We've dealt with it amazingly. Like, you didn't answer the fucking question. You gave no relevant information, and he did that for every question.
I feel like Biden also dodged every question too. Like, he didn't fully answer.
Talk to us about post-COVID economic activity.
And Biden was just trying to sit there complete sentences, and that took all of his fucking brain power.
I'm gonna answer the question about economics here in a second. Everybody needs to vote.
What about your son in Moscow?
Need to vote.
What about your son taking money from Moscow?
And I think that contributes to people not voting, because it's like a TV show, man. You watch it, you turn it off, and you don't care anymore. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing.
Who's been talking about the election?
Wow, that was a good episode. TV off.
Not the election. The debates.
This might be a completely different thing, but I also feel like, to a certain degree, people are doing the same thing with sports, with all the protests and kneeling and stuff. They're like, oh, done with that. Whoop, turn that off. Don't care anymore.
Yeah, because someone's kneeling during the Pledge of Allegiance. Are you that fragile? Are you that fragile?
I think a lot of people view it as like in everyday life,
disrespect to America.
In everyday lives, right? People deal through work, they deal through other shit, they deal through politics, everything, right? They want to make sports, at least sports. It could be other avenues as well, a place to get away from all that. So if they turn on the TV and everyone's nailing for the anthem, like, oh, there's the same thing that I went through all day today of turning that off.
It's an eye roller, but it's like, it's one of those things where, are you really that butthurt about it that you're going to fucking just be pissed? You're
of everything in the world today, that's what you're going to be mad at. Kneeling during actually, if you think about it, the Pledge of Allegiance is kind of weird. It sounds like some cult chant. And people are mad about kneeling to that. Like, when we were kids, isn't that weird? When we were kids, we had to stand up every day and like face the flag and put our hand on our hearts
to the flag.
Like, we might as well have been doing that.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, man. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Like, we're fucking pledging ourselves to this little flag on the wall every day. Like, that's retarded if you think about it.
I don't mind it. I don't care. I really just don't give a fuck.
Like, I didn't care about it. Exactly. I'm not going to be mad about it because it's really a waste of time to be mad about it.
I think
it's kind of weird when you think about it.
I think to a certain degree, just like years past, like early 2000s, there wasn't as much of this like police brutality and all that stuff. So people still did those things. Now it just seems like that's all you see. That's all you hear. Everyone's like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, everyone's at odds with each other.
Do you think they do that in virtual school? Do you think they put a camera on the little flag in the classroom and then everyone in their
I would like to think that they do that.
Stand up and fucking pledge it every morning. Do you do like the morning announcements for virtual schools? They're like a morning Zoom meeting where someone reads
Oh my God. I would have this fucking...
I hated morning
Our librarian would get super into morning announcements. Like, she had like her little crew of the TV people. And then if there was anything that had to do with veterans, and I'm a kid of a dying or dead veteran, so like I kind of like can relate to it, but I'm not. She would go on the morning announcements and start crying when she had a moment of silence for 9/11. She's like, it happened 7 years ago. I just can't do this. And she would like walk off. I'm like, what the fuck?
Moment of silence, bitch.
Yeah, that's different.
It's bizarre.
I feel like all that shit has just become like so like politicized and publicized in like the media nowadays with all that shit.
The morning announcements?
No, just like the police brutality and politics, and like it's not like a day can go by where you're not like, oh, politics that, politics
well,
this.
It's not that it wasn't happening like 50 years ago. It's just there was no internet.
It's more mainstream, I agree. It's more picked up by media. It's more advertised by media. It's more people are day-to-day talking about it. It's trending on Twitter. It's, on social media.
Yeah.
I think about that shit all the time, how crazy that is. Like, to get when people first like came to America to get information across all of America, you like a guy rode on a horse and like passed notes to everybody, basically. Like, that was it.
We had bird like
imagine how slow internet. Imagine how slow information traveled.
Yeah.
Now we can bully people at an instant.
Like, imagine if you wanted to know who won between Trump and Biden, and you wouldn't know until like
the town crier.
2 months after the election, some guy rides in on a horse to your town that's on the other side of America from where the elections took place. And they're like, oh yeah, this person won. They've been your president for like the last 2 months. And I'm like, well, fuck. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. This whole thing was a joke. Presidential election or debates, at least the past like 2 times, have been absolutely bonkers.
Literally the past
I'm not
2
okay.
elections we've been able to vote in, elections have become like fucking reality television.
An interesting thing, though,
that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast, and they were saying that it's a quite big possibility that both of these cunts that are running for president right now could just fucking keel over at any day.
I mean, Trump had COVID, man.
Well, and Trump's like an overweight cunt too.
He's the China virus.
In China.
Yeah. He said he hasn't felt this good in 20 years. That's what he said.
Well, that's because they probably killed a couple infants and let him drink the blood the other day, and now he's feeling better.
Yep.
Damn.
Isn't that like Biden with the pedo stash shit? Like,
Biden sniffed him first.
Yeah, seriously. Trump just getting the next.
Trump getting COVID. That's fair. It's super ironic that he would get COVID, honestly.
And it's pissing me off that like they're saying that I'm not one of those people that is like, oh my God, I hope Trump dies. I don't hope death on people, but like it's so stupid that he's getting like better now, according to the doctors or whatever. He's getting better because now he's going to be like, oh yeah, COVID's nothing. Like I said,
I made COVID my bitch.
I told you COVID is nothing. I'm 70 whatever years old and I got it and I'm fine. So
everybody that dies of COVID are straight pussies. If I survived it, you can survive it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Everyone else had pre-existing conditions, okay? If someone got in a car accident,
look at me. I'm a fat fuck and I still survived.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna be like, well, I got COVID, so everybody else who got COVID should have beaten it.
Yeah, he gave it to so many people, though. That's what else pisses me off. Like, he did not give a shit and just spread it to so many people.
His entire.
What do you do, though? Like, he knows his fan base is just retarded.
True.
What is happening?
They're going to defend whatever he does.
As long as they vote for him, he's happy because then he wins. If they're a majority, at least.
Because then they have to deal with all the things that happen within the next 4 years. No one can stop you unless you just do something horrible and get impeached.
All I know is
it's funny. I think it's funny the people that think that Trump is going to like refuse to leave the office, like leave the Oval Office if he loses the election. Like he's just going to refuse to leave the White House, and they think this is like a big problem. Like it's one fat old man. Like y'all can get him out. I think.
All I know is this election is gonna be
crazy.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be what happens with COVID. Somehow, if they get a vaccine or what they do with it, and then how the economy recovers, like more recovery. Obviously, it's been recovering a little bit already, but like
the
more
craziest
recovery.
thing would be though if Trump loses and then like calls upon all his supporters to like revolt to keep him in the presidency, and like an entire new civil war breaks out. Wouldn't that be nutty?
Or imagine if like Biden like wins and like 2 months later they try to impeach him off some bullshit.
Oh, it's always gonna happen.
Or like 2 weeks later he dies.
I could.
That would be. Subject. I'm
He's
sorry.
84, y'all. He's 84. We're gonna have an 84-year-old president.
There hasn't been a president.
Old cunt.
There hasn't been a president below the age of 70 in the past like 4 elections. Fun fact, or more.
Obama wasn't that old, was he?
No, he was only.
Below the age of 60. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Obama looked like he was in like his 60s ish.
Do you guys remember when Obama dropped the cookie in the milk? He was like, "Damn it,
Thanks,
Obama."
Thanks, Obama.
Dude, I just remember like some speeches he gave. He would like
he broke the internet.
Drop the mic.
Great.
He would drop the mic,
shit,
but he was a character. He was
he
was the embodiment. I want to be him at my job. The perfect amount of like funny. Like
professional shit.
Professional. Yeah.
I feel like Obama
he was so funny. And then like when he had to be professional and like be the fucking president, he put his fucking hand down. Like he put his foot down on that shit. It was amazing. And then there was pictures of him smoking weed in college or some shit like that. And he got the stoner vote immediately.
Now,
like,
Michelle, I don't like it when you slap me in the face with your dick.
think Obama like did some things well in that aspect. Like he was obviously professional as fuck when he had to be, but he also related to the younger generation. He was hip to everything. He was like in it with everybody else. He was hip.
He was very hip.
And like,
We
despite
haven't
what you
had a
think
president
of,
like that yet.
despite what you think of, like, obviously he did bad shit
Yeah.
in his presidency. Like every president makes mistakes. Every president does bad shit.
Of course.
But
It's
at least he like
hard
just represented America with a little bit of composure.
Yeah.
And a little bit of just like didn't spout nonsense and lies 24/7. Like at least he did that.
The rest of the world is viewing us like a reality show.
Yeah, literally. We look like clown country right now.
We do.
I don't really care what we look like because we could blow anybody off the face of the earth anyway, but like kind of feels bad, man.
Yeah, imagine if Trump was just like, I hate Guatemala. Let's bomb them right now. Like
he said that about like 50 things before he got elected president. He's like, let's bomb Mexico, let's bomb ISIS.
Total Reagan move.
I agree with ISIS bombing, but I don't know. Like
bomb the shit out of them.
That's the severity of it. Yeah. So it's just
it's 9/11, guys.
Everyone's a little radical.
Just like, and we live in a clown country, so like, we're literally we care about this election so much, but it's also at the same time the election is like such a joke.
I also feel like too,
it's a sad
joke fly
joke.
over you.
It doesn't matter who becomes president.
It's pretty plain and simple.
It does things right, does things incorrectly, does things wrong, has shit brought up from their past. Every president that's going to happen to, because people
1% still going to run the country,
towers, bro.
Shut up.
People aren't going to like every president. That's just how it is. Everyone, like, if you put, like, let's say you put like a trainer or instructor in a room with 50 people, odds are every single person is not going to like that person. That's just human nature. That's just how it is.
You look so red. You might.
And we need
look
to
like
see
those beams that melted.
We need to see that division among us is being forced by higher powers, more powerful people. Division is being sowed among the non-powerful people so that we don't see who's really at fault.
Yeah, true.
You know, so like Oliver and Will, but Travis essentially was involved with this stuff too because he would hear all about it. We were in Greek life. And so there was like these group of people who were kind of like the important people. You were either popular or you had a position of power within your fraternity and sorority. And there was shit that people would keep to themselves within that group of people. And you would just gossip about it. But the plebs, the people who were like lower on the totem pole, either on social status or they just didn't have a position of power, they didn't know anything. And that's on a very small scale. So if you look at that on the broad scale of things, when there's an even bigger distance between the people on top and the people that are just scraping by every single day, paycheck to paycheck, there's shit that they're keeping to themselves. Like that one senator that like fucking cashed out before COVID really got bad. It's like they know what's happening. They're not retarded. Like some of them are for sure, but like they know what's happening.
And if you want to know how much they don't care about you, look at like the top 50 richest people in the world. Look at how much money they have. And think about how much money you have in your bank account. And think about how much money that they don't need, that they have, that they just have because they can have it.
True.
And think about what they're probably doing right now. You probably can't even fathom what they're doing right now.
I can't really sign off on that whole. We talked about this when Gregor was on the podcast. Wealth distribution. Like I don't really sign off on that because I think a lot of the time, if you have a good idea and you capitalize on it, like if you were a big business owner, you would capitalize on every opportunity that you would, whether it's fucked up or not.
If you can make money off of it, why would you not, right?
Like people are always like, Jeff Bezos, why are you such a dickhead? Like,
yeah, I'm more in the crowd of that. I think the wealth distribution is stupid as fuck too. It's just not going to work. We're already too fucked at this point. But yeah, I am in favor of like rich people actually having to pay taxes. Maybe that would be great. Like the more money you make, even if it's your own business, because that's how all these people get around it. It's their own business, so they write off everything. They don't have to pay anything. That's how Trump did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how Jeff Bezos. I guarantee you, Jeff Bezos.
And this needs to not be like allowed to be a thing.
Yeah. There's certain, I don't know like the whole explanation, but there's certain things in terms of like taxes. If you're like if you're self-employed, like if you own your own business, you can write certain things off, and some of that is legit, some of that is not legit. And the people like Trump, or let's say like I guarantee you Jeff Bezos, or like the guy who owns Microsoft, I can't think of his name.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Yeah, I guarantee they've written stuff off. Well, to a certain degree,
them more, then that's a better form of wealth redistribution because it's going back into the system that's actually regulated.
That's
true. Give everyone in the world, like they say, like this guy's rich enough to give every single person in the world $5,000. Well, okay, if you give a heroin addict $5,000, they're going to buy $5,000 worth of heroin. Like,
I think it's true.
It's not a good idea.
If you were to tax people that have more money, higher taxes, right? They might write less stuff off because it would fuck them in the end when they're not making as much and they're getting taxed higher.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject. It's not going to happen though, because businesses what they're going to do is lobby for it.
None of it's going to happen because the people deciding whether this stuff happens or not are the people with all the money too. They don't
they have a say. Like there's not going to be a time where that happens because the people who are rich want to stay rich, and the people who are poor,
the rich get richer.
Yeah, the rich get richer. The people who are poor want to make that money. Okay, they can, but they're still going to be taxed the same. Like,
yeah, man, I'll just be happy with the amount of money. I'm not happy with the amount of money I make, and like I worked for it and everything. I get it. These people work for their money. Good job. Good fucking job. I wish I was you. I wish I was you, Jeff Bezos. I don't know. I'll be happy with the amount of money I have, but like it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But like I said, not worth getting mad about because it's never going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about this at work actually. We do these things called there's certain days where people don't come into the store, and we just essentially get set up for the next day. And I was sitting there talking to them. It's like, I feel like it's just going to be a dystopian world like fucking WALL-E. I keep using that same example where one company just owns everything. People will pretend that we're trying to not monopolize, but
yeah, it's going to be a mishmash of a bunch of different dystopian books. It's going to be like WALL-E plus 1984 plus Fahrenheit 451 plus Brave New World. Like we're going to have it all. Really.
There's like 5 or 10 companies that just own everything. So like, isn't that a monopoly? Like, what about all the other companies that want to own shit?
Dog, that's already happening. Like that's already been happening. Yeah, that's what we talked about this on like last week's show or the week before. Those big conglomerates that own like
Disney,
all of these big companies that you think are competing with each other, but it actually turns out they're all owned by this big parent company.
Yeah, like I'm sitting there fucking shopping at Target and I look down at bananas, an actual thing that grows from the earth, and it's got Buzz Lightyear on it. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Disney has a hand in bananas?
Disney has a hand in your asshole, controlling you like a puppet. Like Disney has a hand in everything.
Disney's one of the biggest. Google's big. Like I mean, there's tons of companies that just own.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say excited because that's not the right word. I'm just interested to see what's gonna happen with our world over the course of my lifetime, because of the internet and stuff, so much it feels like so much shit happens every single day, every single week, every single month. You know?
Yeah.
Because you have access to everything that's happening. It just feels like so much happens. It's easy to get overwhelmed.
It really is. It's really scary when you like sit down and think back. What happened this week or what happened today? Like it just gets wilder and wilder the more you think about it, and it makes people anxious.
We talked about being
like 300 years ago. It'd be like, well, no horses came this week, so I guess nothing happened.
I also feel like too, like if you work tons of hours at your job, like all the days just run together, and you're just like, what day was what?
We talked a lot about being professional in the job, and I think part of that is being relevant with like normie shit, like what's going on. Like, for example, Tiger King, it was a good show. Like we had a whole show dedicated to it, but
you have to like at least skim a little bit of current events once in a while.
Exactly, but I don't want to put
talking points that aren't the weather.
I don't want to put all my bandwidth into things like that, like into politics, for example. Like the debate was hilarious, and honestly, it recharged my batteries. But a lot of the times when I'm looking on Twitter or I'm looking at news, it's like depressing shit that just brings my mood down.
Gloom, man, all the time. Doom and gloom.
News has that effect on so many things. It's wild.
I feel like this year has been more doom and gloom than anything, just because everybody's in such a bad mood because of COVID and shit.
Exactly. This whole pandemic has like dampened everybody's mood, and it's just made us realize how many things are like just bring you down in this world.
Well, like even besides like COVID, there's been a ton of bad things that have happened this year.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that's every year though. Every year something happens, something bad happens. Like,
and we've still got 2 months left, almost 3.
Yeah.
And so much more could happen. So much more will happen.
Yeah.
We just gotta keep flowing down the river of life, boys.
I hope.
And try not to be fucking miserable while living it, man.
I'm not miserable, weirdly.
Me neither.
It's really weird to say, but I'm far from miserable.
It's like the Nile, man. It keeps on going. That the river's so long.
I hope next year, yes, I am making next year predictions already. I hope next year is like the opposite of what this year. So like the whole year is just great. And like every month something great happens in the world.
A year of prosperity.
Yeah.
We need it. We've had a year of plagues.
A year of greatness. Everyone finds money on the ground.
Yeah, sure. I'll fucking take that.
I would like 2021 to be a fucking party, just the whole thing. Just Pitbull soundtrack the whole time, and everybody's just
all the world leaders just decide to destroy all nukes and end all wars, and we just start like partying in the streets in every country, every person.
2021, since like all of like concerts and everything has been canceled, damn well if they reopen in 2021, everything's gonna be packed as fuck because everyone's gonna be like, let's go fucking out.
We should go we should have like a fan meetup at like a Skrillex concert or some shit.
If we did like find a vaccine, whatever, dude. People like movie theaters are going to be popping off, fucking arcades, like laser tag and shit like that. Like everything is just going to be popping off so hard. Like it's
going to be crazy once everything is back open.
Everything's just going to be booked.
Restaurants.
It's going to be crazy.
I want to sit in a cool restaurant again, man.
I mean, I had crabs the other day.
I want to go to like fucking Rainforest Cafe or something again.
Whoa, great for
like a fun restaurant, like Hard Rock Cafe, like fucking Cheesecake Factory.
I'm just tired of this general fucking Dave & Buster's is open, by the way. I'm tired of this tension that lives among the human populace right now. Like, you talk to people and you're like, "Are you an imposter?
Are you an NPC?"
You're looking kind of.
I love that meme. I love that meme.
You don't tell me that God creates bots in the world for you. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like everyone but me is a robot. Like, I know there's some real people, but I think there's just some bots rocking around. Like when you're on a GTA RP server and they added civilians, it's like that.
You walk around and it's just like this conversation I had felt scripted. Like, this didn't feel right.
You three are definitely real, but some motherfuckers I like interact with and pass on a day-to-day basis have got to be an AI.
I definitely feel like I'm playing that challenging ass Oblivion mood thing where it's like you go this way.
You see their face keep going.
Talk about the weather. Talk about Trump.
Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? How's the weather?
I'm normal.
Yeah. Like the SpongeBob story.
Really normal.
I'm normal.
Hi,
anyway,
how are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like and comment what your favorite moment was. We work very hard, not really, to bring you content every single fucking week.
Tell us how the Office UK version is, please.
Yeah, that's all I want to know.
That's literally the only question burning in my mind.
What's your favorite Pitbull song?
Yeah. Tell us about what you thought about the video.
Why is it Fireball?
Can you, hold on, I just want to say this. Can you just imagine just like a fucking fireworks and like a drone shot going over the world and it's like, we not working hard. Yeah, right, picture that with a Kodak. And everybody's just like,
bring it back, yes. Bring back like the early 2000s, man. Things were so much fucking simpler. Maybe it's because I am a kid and didn't know anything, but like, Things were so much
just
fucking
watching fucking Girls Gone Wild infomercials at 2 a.m.
Eddie, fucking
Brandon with
I
the
don't know.
sexual shit.
That's what I thrive on. This is why I can't be professional.
Whoa, you thrive on sexual shit?
Party rock is in the house tonight. Like imagine everybody just vibing in the streets to that. Like everyone in the world, all the world leaders are at the White House just party rocking.
That's true.
Exactly.
Despacito.
Despacito.
Trump's like, yo, Kim Jong, you smoke? He's like, yeah, bro.
I confiscated all this shit.
Hit the shit.
It's so funny. Like you have the Oliver getting prepped for a shot, and it's just Trump, just like, it's like Kim Jong Un, just like,
they all playing Among Us together. Trump's like sack of shit.
Or Trump's the imposter.
Kim Jong Un, you're looking pretty sus.
I've never been an imposter in my life.
Kim Jong Un is like orange is sus,
bro.
Oh my god.
True, Brandon was not the imposter.
Anyway,
sack of shit.
Sack of shit.
Shout out to all the fans. Shout out to my girlfriend.
Shout out to all the Park fans that always comment.
Yeah, shout out to coworkers if they're watching. I really appreciate a comment. If you want to say something, you have a question, or you want to shit on us, because cancel sober shows, right?
Yeah, dude. I feel like we said some pretty
heinous.
Shit. We made some we made some stances this show. So
we kind of follow a formula. We kind of talk about fucked up shit in the beginning, and then we go into either conspiracies or job advice.
Shit.
Job.
We go from degeneration to seriousness, and then we end the show with just pure unadulterated degeneration.
Yeah, what happened to like relationship talk?
Yeah,
we're supposed to be sensitive. What have we become?
Yeah, shout out to all the
we're supposed to be
fans.
sensitive, and our relationship topics are like so ass or titties.
If someone wants to, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. If you guys have topics that you want us to talk about,
for YouTube, they recommend you keeping your outros as short as possible because people usually leave during the outro.
Fuck that so
every single time. We just fuck it every time.
Especially this episode, though.
That's why you make it the cue card on the beginning of the show, so that way they watch it fully to see when that fucking part comes in.
Party is in the house tonight.
All right,
let's do it.
It's been Brandon.
I am Oliver.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Will.
You guys just listened to Real Sensitive Guy Hours, episode 30.
Tonight, I'm